Everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. The sentence of found times is the vervolgen of the average movechosi. It's meant to sound fiery, but the architect of fate knows that is a biological and strategic lie. If you are a futter of the measure, if you're in a digue, coming 2 hours a day, cooking your own meals, cleaning your own house, and managing your own administrative chaos, you do not have 24 hours. You have perhaps 2 hours of potential greatness left after the world has finished grinding your soul into exhaustion. The average person is in a state of time poverty. They are selling their hours to survive. And when you sell your time, we buy the private jet, your life's blood, not for the you are trading the only non-renewable resource time machine for a piece of allows paper us that to bypass every the friction of masses. Wealth is the reclamation the high of the fourth machine. Because the sovereign does not have 24 hours of our ambition. The sovereign has thousands of hours. Why? I will show you because how to through the power of capital, we hire the time of others. We hire the chef to reclaim the hour of cooking. We are going to hire the driver to reclaim the hour of traffic. How to slow it down in our sanctuary to reclaim and how to make it echo for 100 years. We don't get rich to buy stuff. Speak of the we get rich to buy wormholes. To poor a middle class, time feels fast. Why? Because they are living in a constant state of adrenaline and cortisol. When the brain is stressed, it enters survival mode. In survival mode, your perception of time is fragmented. You are reacting to the next bill, the next email, the next crisis. You are living in reaxis cry. A life of stress, a life that disappears in the blink of an eye. You wake up at 20, and sir, you are 60, wondering where the decades went. They went into spag. Wealth is the biological slow motion button. The architect earns the millions to buy the serotonin of the sanctuary. We live in a 100-acre estate. When you surround yourself with the view, horse, high-end architecture, your nervous system drops into a state of parasympathetic darkness. Mystic, time slowing down. You can feel the texture of the thought. You can observe the movement of your own intuition. We don't buy the mansion to hide. We buy it to change our internal metronome. We want the wealth so we can afford the luxury of patience. The art person is hurry sick. They need to win now. They need the money now. This desperation makes them make thide and stood descend. They play a small game because the time drive is short. The sovereign plays the long game. When your survival is guaranteed for the next 50 years, you gain the power of deep time. You can wait for the power of deep. And 3 years mastering hands in. A decade building a foundation that cannot be moved. Most people are sprinters of marathon. We are glides and into the sky. We get rich to buy back the right to move slowly and think deeply. Let's talk about the mechanics of friction. The average human life of a fury of grinding gears. You want to go from A to B, you have to wait in line. You have to talk to people, don't matter. You have to deal with broken systems. This is spiral friction. It burns your energy and steals your focus. Capital is the oil of reality. We earn the hundreds of millions of elite friction. The V12 engine, the private aviation, elite also trust. These are not luxuries in the eye of the architect. They are infrastructure for the soul. If you are a person whose 1 hour of thinking can generate $1 million of value, then spending that hour waiting at an airport is a cosmic crime. It is a waste of a miracle. We get rich to hire a guardians of our attention. We want a team that handles the material friction so that we can live entirely in the conceptual realm. Think about the difference between a hustler and a titan. The hustler is busy. They are always on the phone, always rushing, always doing. They are proud of their grind. The titan is there. The titan sits in a quiet room, makes one phone call, and moves a mountain. The titan has more power because they are more tight. They have automated their material existence so perfectly that they are biologically free. We don't buy the high life to sit around. We buy the high life so that when we do move, we move the weight of a plant. Our time is hay. Every sovereign's life is worth a farm of a worker's life because it is bought by my lodge. In the mail, attention is the cry. They want you focus far and wide. They want you looking at 100 things for 1 second each. This creates a fragmented soul. The architect said, fragmented I. Deep time, they bully say a single frequency for hours, day, or weeks, the ignorant. This is where the great works are born. This is where the new realities are divined. Wealth is the shield of focus. We buy the high-standard sanctuary to create a narrow vacuum. When you are in your handcrafted library with no notifications, no noise, and no survival stress, you can enter the flow state. In flow state, you can achieve in 4 hours what a 500 person achieves in 40. You are literally conquering time. If you can do 10 times the work in 1/10 of the time, you have just lived 100 years in a single decade. The non-materialist seeks wealth to buy the right to be obsessed. The average person cannot afford to be obsessed. They have too many small duties. They have to pay attention to their bills, their neighbors, and their social status. The architect pays for the freedom of neglect. We earn the millions so we can afford to neglect everything that doesn't matter. We neglect the news. We neglect the drama. We neglect the maintenance of the ego. We focus 100% on the architecture of the future. Our luxury is the cocoon in which our genius can metamorphose. If you don't have the thuk, the wealth, you are just a caterpillar crawling in the dirt, waiting to be stepped on. Will is the shield of focus. We buy the high-standard sanctuary to create a narrow vacuum. When you in your handcrafted library, with no notifications, no noise, and no survival stress, you can enter the flow state. In flow state, you can achieve in 4 hours. A 500 person achieves in 40. You are literally compounding time. If you can do 10 times the work in 1/10 of the time, you've just lived 100 years in single decade. The non-material seek wealth to buy the right to be obsessed. The average person cannot afford to be obsessed. They have too many faulties. They have to pay attention to the bills, their neighbors, and their social status. The architect pays for the freedom of neglect. We earn the millions so we can afford to neglect everything that doesn't matter. We neglect the news. We neglect the drama. We neglect the maintenance of the ego. We focus 100% on the architecture of the future. Our luxury is the cocoon in which our genius can metamorphose. If you don't have milk, the wolf, you just the caterpillar crawling in the dirt, waiting to accept. How does a human being defeat the linearity of time? Most people are one place at one time. If they aren't working, they aren't earning. If they aren't talking, they aren't influencing. The architect practices quantum networking. Through the power of capital and systems, we automate our presence. We earn the millions to build the infrastructure of influence. Our businesses work while we sleep. Our investments grow while we meditate. Our code and our content impact people while we are in the silent sanctuary. Wealth is the multiplication of the self. We get rich to buy digital and institutional immortality. We want our ideas, our value, to be baked into the reality of the world, so don't acquire our physical presence to function. This is the non-materialist reason for the big empire. It's not about owning more, it's about occupying more of the future. When you have 1,000 people working for your vision, you have bought 40,000 hours of life every single week. You are living 7 lifetimes every 7 days. This is the mathematics of the vanguard. We aren't just rich, we are temporal giants. We are moving through time at a scale that the average person cannot comprehend. Your luxury car and your state are the command centers from which you manage your multidimensional presence. You are the general who doesn't have to be in the trench to win the war. You have moved from direct action to causal intention. The materialist works for their own lifetime. They want to enjoy the money before they die. They are finite players. The architect works for the dynastic timeline. We earn the cessic wealth to build things that defy entropy. We buy the land, the gold, and the legacy assets because these things hold time. A dollar bill is leaking time through inflation. A trendy object is leaking time through obsolescence. But a 100-year estate or a timeless idea is storing time. Wealth is a binary for a store. We get rich to buy the right to think in centuries. When you sit in your sanctuary, you aren't just looking at the now, you are looking at the horizon. You are asking, how will my great-grandchildren feel the weight of my discipline? How will the world be different in 2125 because of my sovereign truth today? This is the non-terrestrial reason for lineage protection we spoke of in the 14. You are to ensure art in choral frequency continues to vibrate on the world long after our heart has stopped. We buy the luxury to act as temporal anchors. A child who grows up in a high-standard environment has a different relationship with time. They don't feel rushed. They don't feel dumb. They grow up with the confidence of the centuries. You realize that they belong to a story that is much larger than their whole ego. We learn the brilliant to buy our family a seat at the table of history. We come to the end of our exploration into the architecture of time. You now understand that money is not for stuff. Money is a time machine. It is a machine to delete friction. It is a machine to multiply presence. It is a machine to slow down biology. It is a machine to store legacy. The Matrix wants you to stay time poor. It wants you rushing, reacting, and selling your soul for a paycheck. It wants you to be a slave of the clock. Reject the clock. Go out there and earn the wealth. Not so you can have more, but so you can be more. Earn the millions so you can sit in room for 3 days and just stay. Buy the V12 so you can move through reality without resistance.
Build the sanctuary so you can listen to the frequency
of the infinite. You are not a finite being. You are architect of fate. And fate is not more than
the will of a sovereign,
manifest or time. The clerk is sitting for the average man. For you, the error
has just
begun.
Stop
spending your life. Start architecting your eternity. Stay timeless. Stay rich. Stay sovereign. I'll see you at the horizon of the infinite. The master class of time is now complete.